Oh no, where's my music? There it is. Hello. All right. Let's work on the magic mod. Why not? Move my windows around a little bit. Here we go. Okay, so I think I need to fix a couple things. We'll start with fixes, and then we will move on to the Essence Nexus. That's the next block that we're adding, and you know, just odds and ends, right? Maybe scoping out some ideas. Got some configs to make. I've been getting feedback, so I've been trying to apply what I can to the mod. Let me in. There we go. Like my my setup here, my Mana Vault setup. All right, let's do this. Let's make it daytime. So first things first. Someone's having a problem searching out spells. So I have keywords for these spells, like Magic Tier 1, Essence Type, Spell School. Alright, so I believe the way I did this, you could say like Dark, like Magic Tier 1. I think I did it like that. It's not Dark Magic Tier 1, it would just be like Magic Tier 1. And then you would see everything. Crap, I'm trying to remember how you do these searches. So let's take a look at a spell like Dig, right? Let's take a look at Dig. Use with a Sanctum. So I think it's case sensitive, the way the lookup strings are. All right, so it would be something well, you can't put in one either. Maybe we can think of a way to make this a little easier to search for, like maybe some kind of embedded language in there, like text language. So something like spell. Because this person is requesting a way to see what spells you can research. You know what? Why are we thinking about this in the survival handbook sense? I could make something. Where's a spell forge? Maybe I can make something in here, right? You have a spell forge down, and then whatever cipher you put into it, maybe I can have a GUI, even though I don't want to make a GUI. I can have a GUI pop up that tells you the spells. Or wait, instead of a GUI, why don't I actually, I could embed it in the block info. Let's test this out, right? So basically you would put this in, and I would list off the spells that you can discover. Maybe that is a better way to do this than trying to add to a search, right? Because you just be able to look at it and be like, oh yeah, there we go, that's what you do. What do you guys think? That would probably be helpful, right? Like, chance of, and then like all the spells. That sounds great, Vice. Let's do it. Yeah, buddy. All right, let's do block entity. Where is it? There it is, Spellforge. Block entity Spellforge. Now we can... Let's go to block info. So I'm going to want to embed it right at the end. Copy, paste, and I can say this slot input. Oh, shoot. Is it input? Okay, so slot tablet and slot input are the same. Okay, I think I'm using slot tablet. I need to change these variable names here. What do we got? Yeah, see, I'm using a little of each. So I'm going to use slot input for this. I think either way it's 0, and then slot 1 is the fuel. Hey, Manaway. Yo, Algos, what are you working on today? I am working on feedback. The first thing we are going to look at is someone in Discord said that they're having a hard time seeing what spells you could potentially get. I had the idea of when you look at the Spellforge, if you put something down like a specific cipher, I can parse out what spells you have a chance of discovering right in the block heads-up display there, right in the block info up top. As long as the list doesn't extend down far enough to interfere with your crosshair. So that's what we're working on today. So I'm going to have to get the block that's in there, right, the item, and then do a spell lookup on that item to see what you can discover with it. That way, you won't have to worry, right? Like, there's no encrypted anything. It's all through the Spellforge. You put it in, it's like, oh, I have a chance of these spells. Hey, RC, how you doing? And then after that, here, let's pull up Notepad. So then after that, we are going to add a config option for the Talisman of Warding so it can affect entities over 50 health. So you'll be able to scale what the threshold is for health. I'm going to add a config options as well to change the maximum time on utility blocks for each runestone, just in case you don't want the 2, 4, 6 hours. I already fixed this, but I fixed it so when you upgrade items, like belts and stuff in the Arclight Furnace, it preserves the bind tag. Because apparently people are like, oh yeah, you want to give it to your friend? Just update it, right? Just throw it back in and convert it to the next tier, and it erases the spellbind. Not anymore, or the soulbind. So I fixed that. Thanks for the feedback there. And then we are going to be looking at the new block here, the Essence Nexus. This is going to be a magic station that you'll be able to attach to like an Arclight Furnace or a Oculus. That's really the two places where it's going to make sense to attach these two. Possibly the gateway, but you'll be able to put Lacrima inside of it, and it will act like when you link it together, it will dynamically change the essence that is right. So you can have this close by and not the essence generators, and you'll just be able to throw Lacrima in, right? And if this is connected to here, it will send the update to turn this into a neutral essence, right? And then start using the Lacrima essence. So you can a little more dynamic approach. That was also something that was suggested. So we are working on feedback, and yeah, and it looks like someone mentioned that the ingredients for for dark spells still use the lump of raw fat, so I'm going to have to look at that as well. So we like bug fixes, enhancements. Been a little bit off. Just thinking about you, VS Discord, looking for mod wiki input for updating. What do you mean? VS Discord looking for mod wiki input for updating? Updating what? I'm lost. Was it something in their Discord? Let's take a look here. Devlog. Hi, mod developers. Looking for some community feedback for some proposed plans to help the effectiveness of the modding section of our wiki. If you've used the wiki to help with developing mods, then I would really appreciate your feedback on the plans. You can find proposals. Like, so I don't understand what. Let's take a look at it. Look for some feedback. All right. Did a written message, some of the VS team, but it occurred to me that the wiki is made for the community, so you should have a say. Okay, so first off, to state the wiki currently, few distinct issues I've been putting off because they're overwhelming me. First and foremost, navigation to find specific pages is difficult. That is correct. And the reason why I feel like it's difficult is because it seems like I knew where everything was, and then they reorganized it, right? And then there are some wiki pages that don't seem like they're up to date. Like sometimes you'll navigate to a specific page, and it's like, oh, that has like this old way of like, you know, like the bottom, the quick links for things, like, oh, it's a different format. And then you go over to another page and it's like, oh, that's a different format, and it's showing me different things. It would be nice if that was consistent. I feel like some searches don't pull up anything because, like, I don't know if it's case sensitivity or, you know, like the string matching could probably be a little better. Second issue is the predominantly Windows-heavy content of the modding tutorials. It's very much a case of do this in Windows and Visual Studio. If you aren't using those to figure out yourself, I guess. Thought this was a valid viewpoint to take initially due to Linux users generally being more tech savvy with the average person. Now, after using Linux myself and realizing how difficult it can be, I have fully changed my mind and want to have specific tutorials on how to work different OSs and IDEs. All right, so that's just an expansion. It's smart to target Windows first because that's, you know, the bigger population base. But the idea is, right, for a game, if your game can work on Linux and run on Linux, probably should have some Linux stuff in there. So that's good. That's good for you know, for the people using Linux. Third issue is a variety of specific cross-modding pages. Some pages are obnoxiously broad, containing multiple sections. Yeah, selecting IDE. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. If a user wants to know how to publish a content mod, they have to know that the information is contained within this page. All right, so that's basically breaking down each section with its own page, I guess. Yeah, that'd be good. Here we go. I like this one. Number 1, recreate homepage navigation. Yes, please. Make it to where, like, if you have to type in manual searches for everything to find something, you need a better front page. And I find myself instinctively doing that because I know the front page probably isn't going to have like a quick link to the section that I want to look at. So that would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah, rewriting the number of the large and chaotic pages into a set of smaller, more relevant, distinct ones. That sounds great. Split some pages into operating system or IDE specific pages. Yeah, that's going to help a lot of people too. Deeply categorize pages to automatically generate tag-based modding pages. That would be great. Yeah, it seems like all these changes are great. See, my thing with the wiki is I bookmark a couple of the things that I send to a lot of people because, like, people will come to me and be like, oh, how do I set this up? Or what do I do with this? Or, you know, like, I'm getting this problem. And it's in the wiki, but you know, it's in a place where people aren't really finding things, so I will send the VS Wiki links to people. It would be great if they were able to just find the stuff right from the wiki on how to troubleshoot the game. Boop. I feel like lighting is like really crappy in 1.22. Like, did something happen? Look at this. Like, this is a new world. Like, is this... It's freaking weird. You can see, like, the shade there, right? And then we'll go over here, and there it is. Just so weird. This lighting engine, I don't know, since, like, 1.20, I think, is when the initial problems came with the lighting engine. It's like they added volumetric clouds, and it tanked the lighting. But hey, guys, if you look up, you don't have square clouds. Like, I didn't even care about the clouds before. I thought they fit the theme of the game. Just so weird. In the devlog, from when the wiki isn't helping, I'm sure you've complained about the wiki before. Yeah, I have. But it's not really, I haven't, like, you know, went to the VS team and been like, man, this wiki's tough. You know, it's like, it's something where it's like, okay, you kind of learn to navigate it, and then they ended up changing it, you know, and changing things around, doing the last update they did, which made it to where I couldn't find anything again. And at that point, I'm like, I'm just bookmarking pages I find relevant. You know, that's the easiest way. It would be cool to expand that wiki. And I don't know if they could do this. I don't know if it's in yet right now. But people have been asking about, like, you know, does Rustbound Magic have a wiki page? It would be cool if, for, like, bigger mods that people use, there were a subsection of the wiki specific to those mods that the community could, you know, kind of apply feedback to, or the mod developer or something, you know? Like, I don't want to run a wiki page because it's a lot of work. I would rather be working on updates for a mod or playing a game, you know? Or going out for a run. Well, no, not going out for a run. I fucking hate running, but you gotta do it, right? I like to live longer. And because I, you know, went for my run this morning, which I am at 6.38 miles right now. And it's 9:21 a.m. But I get to make, I'm grilling burgers later, so I get to make some cheeseburgers. I'm excited about that. How much is that? Let's see. Miles to kilometers. So 6.28? 38. 6.38 miles. It's 10.26 kilometers. Your boy Vice travels. Not bad? Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I hate running. You know what I actually do? I'll listen to either music, or I'll listen to, like, some kind of, like, story or something. And then, like, I kind of have it in the back, like, the back of my mind, and I kind of think about programming and modding. That's where I get a lot of my ideas, where I'll think about, well, what could I do with, like, the Spellforge, right, to make something better? Or, you know, I had a problem with, like, particle spawning for this. Like, how can I make a vortex particle, and think about, like, some of the math that I would need? Or if I think about, like, you know, I want, like, a new block, right? And I'll start thinking about, well, that block could do this, and you could swap it like that. So that I have a text, you know, like the text and like notepad on my phone, and I'll pull it up while I'm running, and I'll just kind of make sure I'm not going to get hit by a car or go into a ditch or something. And then I'll kind of type out quickly, but it, like, auto-corrects. Like, I'll have to, like, reread it and be like, nope, that word didn't make sense. Or I'll double-check to make sure, like, I'll know what I'm talking about. So that's kind of what I do on these runs. Have you got a preferred moon mod? I do not. The moon's right over there. What do you need a mod for? It's right there. All right. So let's keep working on the Spellforge. We're gonna shotgun some code in, right? So I don't want slot input. We are gonna actually, can I just, okay, good. So I got inventory, this empty. Let's make sure that this is not empty. Pop another if statement in here, and I'm gonna say if well, let's create some variables. So we could do item slot equals, here we go, and then I'm gonna need an item stack equals slot dot item stack. There we go. So that's gonna make what I'm doing a little less wordy. So we can do if stack dot collectible dot code. Oh, you know what we have to do? Because I don't know why 1.22 changed something, but I used to be able to call something like this assuming the item stack would be a real item because it physically exists. Collectible can now apparently be null sometimes, which will cause beeping crashes. So now I got to change how I do this. So I need to do collectible object. I'll say collectible equals this. So, and I'll do a thing, right? If this does not equal null, and collectible.code. I think there's another way to do this. I did this another way. I'm trying to expand my horizons here. I'm gonna see if I can recall it. We could say bool valid equals shit, what was it? It was like collectible question mark dot code question mark dot path question mark or path shit, what is it, like question mark false, right? I think it's something shit, it's similar to this, right? Path. Oh wait, no, because that's not the full bool, because it's still considered a string. I need to do a contains in here, and then I can say I would have to start breaking down the object. So let me think this through. I need to make sure that this is a valid cipher. So what I would be looking for is spell cipher empty. So I'm going to do this a different way. I'm not going to do this. That is a way that I could just have this be a single variable. I'm not going to do it that way, right? I'm just going to do it like longhand here. I guess not longhand, but you know, however you would say it. Focusing more on the code more than talking right now. So collectible object needs to not be null, and then the code needs to not be null. Oh, you know what? I could do it the other way. Here we go. So I could say spell cipher empty. Right? It is indeed spell cipher empty dash. And this would be valid. And we'll do RMR references dot logger has cipher. Right? So basically, I'm just doing something that does a check for this stuff already, right? Is the collectible something? Is the code something? I think I have to also do it with the path. We'll do it with the path too. Is the path something? And does that something contain this? If it doesn't, then it's going to be false, right? So let's save this. This should start broadcasting stuff when I put, so it's not broadcasting anything, and I put it in, has cipher, I pull it back out, and it stops, right? So there we go. Drakis, hey, boop, hey, Vice, I'm having problems getting the random stats for grimoires to work on my server. If you got a chance, could you tell what could be wrong? I could add that to the list. We do have a list of things we are gonna work on. So you're saying random stats for spell ciphers, or for grimoires, for random stats for grimoires may be wrong. Check the code. We'll do a quick look here, because I think there were some stats that I never got working, like stat, for instance, is one of the stats that doesn't work. Because it wasn't doing the randoms correctly, and I just never like looked back at the code. Other parts like max mana and stuff, those should work. Let me take a quick look here. That would be in the... Oh, actually, that would be right here in the Spellforge, what we're in. So, consume magic runes, run nexus runes. That's the old code. Here we go. Attempt to discover spell. Oh, wait, no, this would be in the Oculus through synthesis. So, let's take a look at the Oculus core. Just kind of eyeballing it here. Here we go. I think it's this section. Damn, that was fast. Right, so I'm khaki. This is the actual logic used to create the grimoire after all essence is consumed. So I do a check to see if you enabled random attributes. So let me just double check this. So I'm redoing mana cost, cast time, duration, damage, stats, effect, range. I do have to ask, do you have this enabled in the configs as well? What you could do is also, to see if it wrote the stats, is if you pull up any item in the game, doesn't matter if it's a grimoire or not, if you hover over it and hold shift, it actually tells you, you could see the attributes array down there, towards the bottom, like it pops up. You would see a bunch of spell attributes. You would see stuff for like max mana, and you would see the actual variables, right? Because I need to know if the problem is the fact that when you cast the spell, is it not reading those special attributes? You know, is it ignoring it? Like, is it even writing it on the grimoires? And I'll give you an example, right? So if I, like, this has 2 mana. It has a watched attribute tag, so if I hover over it and shift, you could see, like, it now has the attribute tag for the Lana Macrama, it's stored mana, and then the value is 2. Right? And then something like that, that's like the empty default. So that would help narrow it down. Yes, I made 3 spells with it, set to true, 1 set to true, 1 while false, and they were the same when I moused over. Oh, hold on, I'll grab my test grimoires. All right. Yeah, because I just need to see if it has attributes, because it could be adding them, and maybe there's something wrong with, like, when you cast the spells. I'm just looking up the, like, what the base attributes from the dictionary for the spell, right? What the spell has in the spell dictionary, and not overriding that stuff with your special stats, right? From the grimoire. Could be that. But I don't know. But okay, while you look at that, let's keep going with the Spellforge here. Either way, I have it marked on the list. I could just, I'll be able to add a note. I don't know how much of the list I'm going to get through. I got a lot to work on. It's kind of nice. I like having stuff to work on. My mind wanders less. You get less Magician's Brick and stuff like that when I'm focused on a task. So this is going to be block info. All right, so we're going to go back into block info. Perfect. So has spell cipher. And then I will also do if... I might as well... do something like this. That. And I'm going to change this to is valid. Man, I can't wait to make burgers later. Hold on, I'll grab my test grimoires. So when I hold down shift, I'm not getting any more attributes than the tooltip. Oh, you're not in developers mode. You have to go into settings, dev, or interface, right? And then you got to click on developers mode. And then you'll want like I use these two, reporting and the extended bug debug info. So that kind of stuff helps, right? And then you'll be able to go in and see, like the code, the item IDs, stuff like that. Could be a dev thing, yeah. Oh, guys, hold on. I need to make sure I put an order in. I got to make sure I submitted it. Oh, I never did. Oh, that would be a sad time for Vice, because that's my burger buns, and I got pork chops coming, and that's a bunch of stuff. All right, let me check out here. One to 3 works for me. Do you guys, does anyone here grill? Anyone here grill? Oh, and Dracus, so it's null. Are you just pulling things out of creative like that and expecting random stats, or are these actually made through the Oculus? Through synthesis? Like you're throwing in items and it's creating the grimoires? Because that's very important as well. Okay, nope, made them through the Oculus. Yeah, even with the random stats, if you just pull something out and put it in, it's going to give you the baseline. I don't know of a good way to interface with creative to push random stat generation on a grimoire. So that's empty. All right, so let me write a note to myself then here. There are no stats added when Oculus, when grimoire is created by Oculus. What tier is this specifically? Are you just doing tier 1? That way I'll test with all tiers, but I can focus on whatever that is. And now that you got me thinking about it, let's continue on here. So I am basically saying if this is enabled, we are getting the mana cost for the spell dictionary, and then we are doing... Did you change the minimum and maximum RNG ranges? Ads. Damn you, ads! Ooh, grilled ham sandwiches? Yeah, man, away. Making some tasty, I love cheeseburgers, so I'm gonna be making those, and I got thick cut pork chops that I'm gonna be adding, or making eventually, probably tomorrow. And I was hoping to see some, yeah, I like getting more seasonings. So I'll if I'm gonna grill and I want something new, I'll just pick up like a seasoning that's got like a high rating and try it out. All right, let's continue. Got that. Crap. Is it this one? Hold on one second, y'all. Come on, baby. There we go. All set. All right. That's what I needed to do this morning. Okay, so I am doing that, and then spawn items. So I'm writing those attributes here. All right, let's make a very quick grimoire. Damn, even as hot as it is, a good grilled ham and cheese sandwich is to die for. Yeah, I got my favorite cheese to use is called Cooper's White American Cheese. It's like a nice, creamy, melts amazing. It's really good, really good. That and sometimes I like a little cheddar cheese, a little sharp cheddar. But I got a pellet grill too. I am now using cherry hardwood pellets for my cause it adds nice little smoke in there. I think the next batch I'm gonna use is a little mesquite or hickory. I have mesquite and hickory, but we'll see. We'll see when my pellets start to run low, whichever I'm in the mood for. Yeah, but do a separate one spell from created, and it's in its attributes it has the durability tag. Now you want grilled cheese? All right, so that's good. If it has the durability tag, chances are. See, it shouldn't have any. Do you see what the like under attributes? That's what I would. That's what I'm looking for. So if we go to Oculus, we'll just build a quick Oculus. I'll test since we're talking about it. And then I'm gonna continue what I want to work on here, but this is kind of important. And we'll just make it out of. It doesn't matter. Here we go. Enchanted stone, boring old enchanted stone. We'll throw it over here. And I'll embed this. There we go. Make it look good. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, Dracus, hey, thanks for the follow. Boop. Let's get some of these creative glow blocks. Boop. Let's start positioning these. There we go, good enough. We're gonna need some rune stones. Doesn't matter. Whoops. Doesn't matter what kind. There we go. Good enough. And we'll just throw this right here. Get a resonator. Boop. Boop. Oh, I did it one too high. No. There we go. I guess it was meant to sit on top. Meant to be. All right, so let's get a cipher. Here's spell cipher, fertilize. It doesn't matter. So we'll throw that in. And what do we need here? Gonna need a bunch of abyssal ash. Wait, why did I... Is that a tier 1? I want a different spell here. Let's grab like something like temporal. No. I'm getting everything from creative anyways, it doesn't matter. All right, so it needs abyssal ash. Abyssal ash. We'll grab a stack of 64. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There we go. Blank grimoire. I should make an item, like an admin item, where you throw it in and it like auto completes. Probably should do that. Rustic compound. How many? 4 rustic compound, 3 lumps of fat. All right, rustic compound. Get rid of those, get rid of that. Lump of fat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. What else you got? Lump of fat. It was 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. Arcanus, how much? 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rusty gear, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And Dark Essence. I got the admin one right there. Boop. Boop. Oh, it was... Okay, now it's linked. That's right, because it helped the tagged information. I forgot I did that. All right, cast transmutation. Boop. Make sure I don't admin eat this. There we go. Yeah, so it did not write any of the attributes. Interesting. I'm going to add this to my findings. Did not write attributes upon creation. It's weird. Why wouldn't it do that? Because I added the attributes here. Set int. Set float, 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 float. And that's after getting the randoms. And then I am spawning the entity. Oh, I think I may need to spawn this entity through a packet. Let me do a quick check here. We're going to reload. Wonder how long this hasn't been working for. And I'm just now hearing about it. Dracus, you may be the only one using the random stuff. Computer exploded. Hold on. Just make sure. Okay, yeah, so it did not do that. All right. So I made a note. Let's continue working on this because I think people are going to want this. And we will we'll eventually get to it. It's on the list now. It is on the list. There we go. So we're going to make a valid light, neutral, and dark. For this, I'm going to say light. I need a spell cipher. Right, so tier 1 light. So this would be neutral, dark, and I probably should make a handful of variables as well because I'm gonna have to like mix match things. So I need to say, or better yet, is there a better way of doing this? Nope, I think this is the better way. I'll say tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, trying to think of the best way to do this without a lot of copy code. Rustbound magic. This isn't going to be an if statement. I'm going to say for each, and we'll just put in var at first, spell in rustbound magic dot full spell dictionary. If valid tier 1, spell dot key. So I'm gonna want the key, right? I'm gonna wanna parse out the key. Where'd my print statement go? Did I delete it? Cut RMR references dot logger. And I'll say spell is key. I'm gonna have to get the localized name. You know what? I could probably do dot value dot name. That would probably be what I want. So if it's a tier 1 spell, oh, and it's spamming me. Oh, because I'm each second I am mass broadcasting. No! Comment out, save, fireball. Stop it. There we go. So it was giving me the unlocalized name for every spell. Spell is, and then it's going through every tier 1 spell, or everything that has tier 1 in it. Technically, it's not even doing that. It was just broadcasting every spell. If it's tier 1, it was giving me all spells. Most people I know hate the randomizer. I decided instead of increasing the base stats of the spells, I was going to use the randomizer to increase the base stats of everything within a narrow range, so that's how I discovered. Oh, okay. Cool, glad you know about it. I need to go to bed. Been up for 6 hours trying to troubleshoot this. Oh, yeah. If you have any other questions like that, I do have a Discord. I try to keep up on it. There you go. So that's my... Oh, you are in Discord. Did you put it in Discord? I wonder if this was one of the things that I was going to try and go through. Doesn't mean... Oh, yep. Here you go. Does that... Yeah, so I was going to get to yours here. Does anyone here use random modifiers a bit in the config for their spells? I'm trying to get it to work. Yep, I haven't seen that yet. I'm on right now where people are trying to have they're having issues seeing what spells each thing makes. So I try to keep up. Sometimes things get lost when people are very talkative, right? Because I have like a full-time job and like a family and I'm trying to be healthy and stuff. So like I'll go in and if I see like 99 messages, there's a chance that I probably missed like a suggestion or something. I figure cream rises to the top, right? The squeaky wheel gets the grease. But yeah. So it's on my list anyways. So there you go. Sleep well, my friend. Sleep well. That is why I enjoy the stream. Squeak, squeak. Yeah. Good night. Have a great night. Why my music stop? I hate that. Hate that it's doing it now. Like it used to not do this. Like it used to just play through my music. No longer does that. All right. So I need to limit this down, right? So for each spell in Rustbound Magic spell tier 1, I'm going to want to filter things out. I think I'm going to have to create another array and then add all the names to it, right? And then maybe like another temporary array, right? So I can first filter out all the tier 1 spells, and then from there I can step down and prune out the list again for any spell that is not, you know, like light, and then it would leave just like a smaller list, right? So I'm going from large to small. So I can say, so this would probably be best as a string array. New string array. We'll start off with an empty one. Or should it be a list? And I could just call this like filtered list. Filtered list 1. Maybe it should be a list and not an array. Right, so I could do list string. New list string. Right? And now I can say add or filtered list dot add I'm gonna have to do more to this. And then I can say spell dot value dot name. And you know what we could do before that? No, actually I think that's good, right? But I also need to do something more here. Because right now it's just saying true and then I'm dumping everything in. I need to also see if it's going to be another if statement for sure. I am going to get another list here. Or no, I'm not going to get another list. I'll say spell dot value dot tier 1, right? Tier equals 1. That's going to be my if statement. And then we will add those to this list. I'm going to cut this out. And I'm going to create this here for the filtered list so I can keep reusing the filtered list, right? So basically I'm doing a check right now to see, is this a valid tier 1 scroll? And if it is a valid tier 1 scroll, then when we go through this list, we just need all of the tier 1 items, right? All the tier 1 spells in that list. And then it's going to add everything there. And then I can take this further. And we're going to append line. I'll just put a dash. It's going to give me an ugly, unlocalized name. Should I make individual dictionaries for this? Because I'm thinking I don't want to keep like rebuilding and parsing stuff out. That may become a little much. I can create static lists that are already separated out and then just pull from those. I may actually already be doing that. Let's scroll up, right? So I'm kind of doing that here, right? I'm creating a spell dictionary for the spell buff stats. So maybe I need to make a couple more things, right? And create sub-dictionaries based on the main dictionary. And then I can just loop through those sub-dictionaries without having to rebuild. Or, you know what? Do I even need to do that? Let's try it this way. If there's no lag, then I won't have to go through that, because this is only kind of rendering. But let's just try this out, right? So I can say spell value name. Let's do this. You put that right in there, right? So if it's a tier 1 spell and it's a tier 1 cipher, give me a list of everything when I look at it. There we go. I don't see much overhead, but I think that is still... it's too much. I think it's too much. I should create separate dictionaries, sub-dictionaries. Let's create some separate sub-dictionaries here. So instead of the full list, I can do things like sub-spell dictionary tier 1 light. This would be neutral. Whoops. Wow. If I could spell neutral. Dark. That way I build these once. This would be the tier 2 versions. I'll build these once when the game starts and then just reference the smaller list. And then we are gonna scroll down. Oh, that's my magic missile spell right there, right? Add to spell dictionary. So it's going to be after spell list, which is right here. So I'm going to copy spell list, and I will say create sub spell lists. Copy. Paste. One, two. Kind of minimizing everything in here, right? So this is create sub spell lists. And I will say sub spell dictionary tier 1 light. Neutral dark. Paste, tier 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. Okay. And I am going to want to copy and paste this. And I'll say add sub spell to dictionary. And I believe I can just put the dictionary in, right? So this would be dictionary of string spell base dictionary in. And that would be dictionary in, copy, paste, copy. Right, so when I add in spells, right, it's going to look like that, and then I would also have to add the dictionary, which in this case would be like sub spell dictionary tier 1 light. Okay, now what we're going to have to do is I want a for each. And I'm going to have a couple of these for each statements. All right, so I'm going to say for each var spell in full spell dictionary. This, well, no, I can't do full spell dictionary. This full spell, it's got to be that because it is a static. And then I will put in things like if spell dot value dot tier dot equals 1. And then another if statement, if spell dot value dot essence type equals spell essence type dot neutral dot toString, right? That way I'm running on the enums. And do I have e? So I don't have an enum for tiers because it's just a number anyway, so tier 1 equals 1. And then I'm going to cut this out. And I can put in spell dot value dot name, or better yet, guys, I could put in spell key. No. Yeah, maybe I could put in spell key. Spell dot value. And then the dictionary. There we go. Best way to create my sub dictionary, right? Because I'm just going to import the key, import the value, and then assign that to the new sub dictionary. In this case, because it's tier 1 and neutral, this becomes tier 1 neutral. Copy, paste, right? And then this would be light. And then put it in the light dictionary. And then this would be dark. And put this in the dark dictionary. Copy, paste. So this would be tier 2, and this would be tier 3, right? So in here, anywhere it's tier 2, put it into tier 2 dictionary. Anywhere it's tier 3, put it into tier 3. Oh, Vice, you are so smart, bro. Bam. So that's going to rebuild and give me sub-dictionaries I can then look for after I run this, right? So let me make sure it's spell list and then create sub-spells. Okay. What instance is this in? Spell list. Create sub-spells after that. And the third place I'm doing this is spell list here for finalize. This dot create sub-spells, 3 separate parts. Let's shut down the game because it is going to be super unhappy running with everything I just put in. Now we can go back to the Spellforge. And I could do simple lookups now. I can say... if this is a valid spell cipher, right? And I can say if this is... because I don't even need a filtered list in here now. I can say if this is tier 1, and then subdivide it off and say, like, valid neutral. There we go, something like that, right? Valid tier 1. So if it's tier 1 and it's neutral, then for each var subspell in Rustbound Magic dot... there we go. And I would use like the tier 1 neutral. There we go. I don't know why the formatting is weird. All right. And then I can say subspell value name. There we go. So if it's tier 1 neutral spell, then just pull up that short list from everything. So in the future, when I add another spell, I don't have to remember to update this static list. It's just going to automatically build all the lists based on how I classify my spells. Auto-magically. Boom. Hey guys, I'm such a mage, huh? It's the closest I get to magic. What the hell is this? An extra one? There we go. Build. There we go. So last night, I was playing around on my Nintendo Switch, like, you know, I usually play like in bed at night, you know, trying to get tired, and I got Dredge on sale, and it's been a fun game. But then I'm like, you know what, I feel like I was kind of looking around, I'm like, Cult of the Lamb, I haven't played that in a while. Is it on the Switch? And I'm like, oh my god, not only is it on the Switch, but it was like on sale, like bundled, like everything, like in the new, well, quote unquote new, like Woolhaven expansion. I forgot how fun that game is. With like my followers and everything, so I've been hooked on that. I started that last night. That's a fun time. I still have to beat Dredge. I just realized you need to throw through all your crafting recipes to fix any with fat. Oh. Can you script it? Oh, go through? Actually, those recipes are all in... I thought I fixed that already, but I need to... Oh, so what someone put in the chat here is they're talking about, they just noticed some recipes, they still have raw fat as ingredients. I updated the Thaumic recipe ingredients to get rid of the fat there. I did not replace fat in the Oculus recipes. There isn't anything I need to script for it, Manaway. Everything's kind of subdivided out. I just have to go into the Oculus, the Grimoire, and it's just updating a line statement in these files here, which is pretty easy, right? So like, and it's all wildcard, right? So for all tier 1 dark spells, right? If it's dark, it's going to equal fat. I think light is feathers, and then there's charcoal. So I just have to go through each one, and then where it says like game : fat, I just need to replace it potentially with the tallow. But I may end up using something else. I could either change this to rendered fat, or I could use my new tallow. But if I use the new tallow, I feel like I want it to maybe be what you like make the blank grimoire out of. And then find another unique thing, like a feather, charcoal, or blank, right? Just a brand new item. Because if we go into like here, right? So enchanted stone, mage candle. See, it's already using the new magic tallow wax. So I saw that. I did see that in the Discord. So bam. Now, I just meant you could automate it with a script. I could, but the time it would take to build a script to do that, I could just easily paste in the one area in those files and just pull them up manually. And besides, I have to be careful running a script, because if I don't want to replace it everywhere. And if I do it with a script, there are times when I'm doing something like this, right? For like fat. Here, let's pull this up, right? There are times I'm doing it like this through a reference. There are other times where I'm doing like game fat. So it's better to manually go through with stuff like that. I've seen many a downfall, you know, running a script and it did way more than you thought it did, or significantly less, and you have to manually go through and double check everything anyways. But I'm not sure how I'm going to handle those recipes. What was I doing, guys? Oh, okay, I'm checking this. Oh, I never saved and quit. Oh, I did save and quit. Where's my... Oh, there it is, okay. So if I put something in here, like this cipher... Oh no, it's too many. It's still too many spells. That's wrong. Because it's giving me all the variants, and it should not be giving me the variants, because technically you will never discover those variants. So I need to filter this down a little bit more. So for each, right? If it's tier 1, if the cipher's tier 1. Oh, and it's giving me, well, it's giving me everything. Light, neutral, dark, right? Tier 1's only neutral spells. But I probably should still put an if statement in here. And I'm going to combine these. So if this is tier 1 and the spell is tier 1, then go into the next if statement here. And then I can say valid, neutral, and spell dot value dot where is it? Essence type dot equals spell type neutral to string. Paste that in there. There we go. Right, so if this is a tier 1 item and the spell is tier 1, and this is a neutral, and the spell is neutral. Wait a minute, I'm not using the new dictionary for this. All right, how do I want to do this, guys? Because I'm still dynamically building based on the full spell dictionary, which is not what I want. I'm going to put another if statement in here. And in this statement, I'm going to say if spell dot value dot I have a modifier in here. Description, duration, no, essence type. Has elemental variant, no, shoot. ID, mana cost, move all casting. Researchable by Spellforge. Thank you, Past Vice. I knew I had a key. I'll say if this equals false, return. That is better. There we go. So that's all the neutral stuff. So it looks like it's still wrong, but it may not be wrong. I may have spells configured wrong. For instance, water touch and earth touch. Those... Let's take a look at those spells. I may actually have the wrong tag for those spells. Research, tier 1, general. So we'll take a look at arcane. and Water Touch. See, researchable by Spellforge false. Researchable by Spellforge false. Why is it showing up? Why is it showing up in here? I'm gonna do this a different way. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's a list on a list. Crap, guys. Let's get rid of that. This is what I want right here. Oh, jeez. Oh, Vice. Let's see what this looks like now. Okay. Let me move this list down as well. Let's put this on the very bottom. Oh shit, should be already on the bottom. Primordial Fragment. Order of operations a little weird here. Okay, that's what it should look like. Okay, so it had more information, so it technically was on the bottom, but I had old information coming in. Okay, that is better. Let's get another divider here. Right, and if this is valid, let's put a divider in. There we go. Make it look a little different. So befriend animal, hydration, telekinesis, temporal touch, water touch, and earth touch. Now let's take this a step further and say, as we're looping through, if and that's going to be this. And it's going to be sub spell value researchable by Forge equals false. Then we're going to return, else print the name. There we go. That is what I would expect to see. That right there. Because the spells it's hiding now. Why isn't it showing me what it's hiding? Right, befriender animal, hydration, telekinesis, temporal touch. So it should be hiding water touch, earth touch. Why is Rust Orb showing up there? Rust Orb. That's a tier 2 spell. Evocation. Rust Orb. Tier equals 2. Okay, and that's the default. This doesn't make sense. How the fuck am I getting this? How is that part of the list, right? I messed something up here. I messed something up. Let's go back to here. Let's take a look at the main thing again. So if spell equals tier 1, that's tier 2 and that's tier 3. And that's getting that, right? So for each spell in full spell dictionary, this should be right? That should be this, which is neutral, tier 1. Subspell dictionary, tier 1 neutral. Weird. Very weird. I'm gonna save and quit. Just to make sure that it, like, builds it. We're gonna do a build. There we go. So it actually did have something to build. All right. And now we're going to go in and we're going to see if we're still getting some weirdness. I just may need to build. Doesn't look good so far. I'm dying. What are you dying from? What's going on? Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's what I would expect to see. Befriend animal, hydration, telekinesis, and temporal touch are your only neutral spells. I'm melting the heat. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Let's do lang.get. There we go. We're gonna get the localized name for this. Did not work. Okay. I thought this was it. Spell name, befriend animal. Something going on with my... I'm gonna put a +1 and see if it's updating. Okay. Okay, so that is updating. Maybe it's not name. Value dot description, effect, key, move while casting, ID. I think that is what I want. There we go. So that is giving... Well, no. That's still just the ID. There's no localized name. I think... To get the localized names, it would be, something, yeah, I need to do item grimoire. I need to build the whole thing. Let's go back to here. So it's going to be armor references dot mod ID with colon plus... Add that string plus, there we go. That should give me... There we go. So we have localized names here, the list of everything. And we can add another line. So I can say, like, list of... How do I want to say this? Spells of chance of spells? Spells to research, right? I'm gonna have to change the wording. But I gotta tell you what this is, right? Spells to research, and then there's that. Let me invert this. So it's still not showing me anything here. I think that's wrong. I should be seeing... Here, let's do this. What's my spell list, right? I should be seeing Water Touch and Earth Touch. I should not see Rust Orb. The fuck? This is weird. Very weird. Very weird. I dislike this. Let's move on. Maybe it'll come together when I look at like light and dark. 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 So that should be the light, neutral, and dark. Put another couple of these down. Light. Growth, Ignite, Fire Touch, Lightning Touch. So it's still it's giving me everything there. Dark, Dig, Fertilize, Reap, and then the wind versions. Okay. And just because I know I'm going to want it, we are going to look for this. Copy. Paste. Plus string. We're going to type this in /font. There we go. I want that extra space in there. Okay. Paste. Paste. We're going to kind of format and colorize it while we're here. Make it a little easier on the eyes. There we go. Spells to research, growth and ignite. There's those. And then dig, fertilize, and reap. So those are all correct. Now I'm curious with the light. See, it's not showing me the inverse here. Weird. Seems like it's working one way and not the other. I don't know why. Because I am changing it here. The default is true everywhere else. So it sees it as false. Weird. Honestly, it doesn't matter. All the correct spells are coming through, it looks like. See? So we have dig, fertilize, reap. See, that rust orb is not there anymore. So maybe it was just something wiggy going on and I had to restart. I don't know. But with the right formatting, these are all the spells I would expect to see. Let's continue. Kind of clean this up. I'm going to copy all of this, paste it in. So if it's tier 2 spells, then we want to look at the tier 2, and tier 2. And then if it's tier 3, then we want to look at tier 3, and tier 3. Save, fireball. All right, so that should work. Almost. We're going to have to do one more thing because I'm going to have to also break this out by the essence type. Or the spell school as well. So let's grab more ciphers. Whoops. Let's move you here. All right, now I can get rid of all that stuff. Let's look up spell cipher from the general tab. So this is tier 2 light. Then this is tier 3 light. That's tier 2. And that's tier 3. Tier 3, tier 2. Three. There we go. So this is looking much better, right? So these are all still neutral stuff. Dig, reap, fertilize, dig, reap, fertilize, dig, reap, fertilize. Growth. There's blink, there's prize. So it has those. Evocation, alteration. Where's my magic chalk? I'm not sure if this is really giving me what I think it is. So if I put the blank in there, it's giving me like everything for tier 2 light, but that's not everything for tier 2 light. Yeah, it's not giving me everything. Because now it should just be giving me evocation stuff, but I see growth, ignite, and prize. I'm also gonna need to add rules for general evocation, alteration, paste, incantation, and conjuration. I am going to change this as well. Plus E spell essence type dot neutral dot to string. Paste. This would be light. This would be dark. You like watts? Waltz? What do you mean? Maybe? I don't know what waltz is. Sounds exotic. E-spell school. General. To string. There we go. Oh, you're talking about music? Oh, so that is what... Yeah, I thought that's what you were talking about, but I'm like, it's kind of random. I don't know. Maybe it's something I don't know. I don't know. I honestly would have to really listen to it. I don't know. Maybe. Do you like waltz? Do you like to dance? Because I do like to dance. Incantation, and then this is conjuration. There we go. That is better, much better. So I need to subdivide this out a little bit more. This is gonna get messy fast. This is gonna get repetitive. Maybe I should make this a... Thought I was hearing waltz from your playlist. No, this is all game music. So what you heard before was from Super Mario Galaxy. It's the Rosalina and Observatory remix. I guess it kind of is like waltz, huh? Pretty good music. If valid dot general then do this. So it's not essence type per se, it's going to be what did I call it? Spell school? Oh, school, just school. Equals if it doesn't equal general, then go through that. Paste. This would be instead of alteration, let's do it in order. Evocation. Evocation would be alteration. Alteration. This would be incantation. Incantation, and then this would be conjuration. There we go. Conjuration, right? Now, this isn't going to matter for tier 1, which is these guys. Hey, Zalsek. Yep, that's Classic Waltz. How you doing, Zalsek? We are trying to get fancy with how we subdivide out spells. I could just do this. So I should be seeing tier 1 general spells. Let's take a look at the spells. Do I have the right tags on the spells? So a tier 1 general spell would be Temporal Touch. Right? Spell School General. Upright and Breathing. Fancy can be fun. It is kind of fun. We are trying to just make sure my order's not sitting outside. Good. Not yet. Hold on, what we got work related here? Men's bathroom, beeping room labeled telephone room, dead UPS, or a dying battery in the UPS. All right, not me. Boop. So we are making it to where you put in a spell cipher, and I give you a list of like available spells, right, that you can research from that. So there's no more guesswork. So we are trying to create the filters, right? And like the sub dictionaries and stuff to do this. That's what we are attempting to do. Nice, good fancy, yeah. Got a list of things. I'm gonna be putting in a bunch of other stuff and this new block here. The Essence Nexus is going to be something you can link to like an Oculus or a or an Arclight Furnace or something, and basically like you'll link them together, and then you'll be able to just put a Lacrima in it, and it will start siphoning that specific essence type to this, right? So you don't have to like have your essence generators up close. This is going to be a big quality of life thing, but we're working on this, because this is also going to be a big quality of life thing. Entity, sup big dog? Putting that work in, you know it. More reasons to make Lacrimas, exactly. Exactly. Like a good, like a higher tier mage, like right, lower tier mages, you're going to have to put up with the rust sickness. You know, you're going to have to like, because this is going to be, you know, for like a tier 2 or 3 mage item, you know, creatable item. And the idea is you'll be able to promote to this, right? Have your generators in an area and just like fill up your Lacrimas and then pop a hefty Lacrima in to, you know, power something. And then like when in the Oculus, right? When you need to switch, you don't have to pull out your resonator anymore. You could just, you know, pop in, like pull that out. I need Dark Essence. Bam. Now it's going to take the Dark Essence. Boop. Think I did a good job on this, if I do say so myself. I think the Essence Nexus looks pretty snazzy. So this is the tier 2. Let's pull that out. Oh yeah, I gotta still do that. So we want a Cypher, right? So let me get the basic neutral tier 1 Cypher. Put that in. So there are no spells, apparently, in this Cypher. I want to get a count for this. I want to see what I'm actually putting in here. What am I putting in here? So it's saying there's nothing. Armor references dot logger. Tier 1. I should be seeing this spam. Well, I'll be Spell Cipher, empty, tier 1, neutral. Oh, snap. I can't do this in tier 1 spells. That's why this is being weird. All right, let me copy this. I see what I did. This is making more sense. I want to preserve this for tier 2 and tier 3. Let's cut this out. Paste that in there. That's it. Tier 1. So I'm pretty sure with these spell ciphers, and let me double check this, because I could be wrong. Items, spells, empty spell cipher. None is actually what it's called. There's nothing called general. Ah, shit. My chicklets have come home to roost. That none? That none should be general. Look, Schnazzy, how do you feel about Maltese working with the VS team to improve combat? Do you think it will affect your magic mod? If Maltese is part of it, then yeah, it's probably gonna affect my magic mod. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on it. Like, it seems like some people do. I guess Maltese has rubbed some people the wrong way. I've personally never, like, talked to the guy. I don't know what his personality's like. I like to assume people are, like, good and friendly because, like, that's how I am towards people. But I have heard some stories about him not being nice. As a person, I don't know. Him being part of the team, I think it's great that the VS team is looking at modders, right? And bringing modders in. I think that's awesome. If I had more time, I wouldn't mind, you know, digging in as well and helping out where I could. I don't know if his changes are going to be good or bad, honestly. I feel like it's a mixed bag, right? Like, and this is the problem. The base game has problems. We all know it. Like, the base game has absolute problems. Combat sucks in its current, you know, current way. Is the combat overhaul style of combat better? Some people say yes, some people say no. Is that like what the game should be going, like moving towards? That kind? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. You know? I could tell you this much, a game that doesn't make me feel like I need armor to survive, and that I can kill anything I need with stone spears, the things I can get in the beginning of the game, because everything else is it's too valuable for what it actually like does for me, then the combat sucks, right? And it's just like with the magic mod, you know, people were upset, like they're still people where it's like, oh, combat magic sucks. And it's like, well, you realize those damage numbers are literally damage numbers from the base game stuff. Like with that fireball spell that everyone was complaining about with such low damage, that was basically equivalent to like the iron sword, right? The iron fox. And it's like, just because it's a magic spell and it's range too, and it's the same damage, you know, how are you guys okay with that sword that cost you a bunch of materials and that took forever to get to, that has durability that goes down, right? You know what I mean? As opposed to the spell that's equivalent to that damage tier, that you can hit something from like 25 blocks away. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Do I expect whatever multis changes to completely screw with my armor? Yeah, probably. Probably. Like, I don't know. I just have to wait and see. 1.23 may end up being a disappointment to me again. I don't know. We'll see. Early game I use bows, late game I use range damage spells. Yeah, I just end up going with like stone spears because they're so cheap. If his suggested changes are baked into the game's code, surely it would make working around errors more consistent than a mod that gets updated haphazardly. Yeah, unless he takes a haphazard approach to putting in, you know, the code in VS, right? We could easily run into something at, you know, have like 1.23, we get, you know, out of all the updates, we get 2 or 3 that are like game breaking because he decided to change things under, you know, with underlaying like slot IDs and stuff that screws everything up. He could do that, you know, just because he's part of the team doesn't mean that the leopard's changing his spots. Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know what to make of it. I've been at the approach where I'm like hands off. You know, I have no idea. Like I'm not tainted by anything, you know, from what I heard from anyone about how he is. You know, him as a person, him as, you know, from modding, like he has a big mod, and I've looked at it, and what he made does look better. I don't know if it handles better, but it looks better, because I've never really used Combat Overhaul. But, you know, my problem is the fact that he, you know, his mod overwrites core things of the game. From that approach, as long as we're on the same page for the base game, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to be fine with 1.23.2 came out. By the way, all armor has to now be adjusted because Maltese changed all the item IDs. And now everything that you just put in about your armor sucks. Like it's all broken and causing crashes, and you have to manually go in and change those IDs. Or now he made something null that you were using before because now it's more like Combat Overhaul. You know what I mean? And now you got to go back in and remap your stuff. If it's stuff like that, I won't really be doing a lot of updates. Like you'll basically see mage armor kind of go into maintenance mode, and anything to do with armor. But benefit of the doubt, I have no idea what it's going to be like. Yeah, I've avoided combat overhaul because it breaks too many mods I need. Yep. Hope it all works out. The game needs improved combat, and the magic mod is my #1 mod to include. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing though, right? Like combat as a whole, you know, like damage numbers and mitigation and systems like that. I want, you know what? I would be happy if it was similar to Minecraft. Like Minecraft, it's a game where I feel like in this game, having armor, I don't know. I don't feel a need to rush to put armor on because of like all the negatives, right? Like in Minecraft, I feel like armor is nothing but positive. If I get an enchanted piece of leather boots that has like low durability or something, I find myself okay putting it on, knowing when it breaks, it's gone forever, just for that extra protection because it's actually going to mean something. You know what I mean? Like I will in some way feel those enchanted iron boots that I pulled out of a random chest in a spider cave. You know what I mean? Like I feel more obligated to use that stuff. In this game, I don't feel that same obligation to armor. You know what I mean? Like armor's weird, like it lasts forever and it breaks and just becomes an item, and it's like, well, there's a huge upfront cost, and then, you know, like, and then what's your armor actually mitigating against? Most of the time it's surface drifters. You know, like it's, I don't know. Like I feel like the issues, like the debuffs and stuff you get from armor outweighs its actual usefulness. Like, am I wrong in thinking that? Like, it's... armor in this game feels almost like a punishment. Yeah. Yeah, like it hurts too much to have armor on. And I don't like that. Like, I feel like in Minecraft, there's no punishment. I'm going to feel that protection the next hit, right? And I will feel when my armor breaks. You know, like that's the thing. Like, it's not like I feel like your armor in this game has thorns on the inside too, right? It's super uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like it's, and then its mitigation protection doesn't outweigh the negatives of having armor. I usually stop at the cloth armor. Yeah, exactly, right? So I need to change this. Cannot use this because of the registered name. Uses none instead of general. There we go. Writing myself a note here. Right now, I could probably come into here. And do that. Okay, now let's take a look. There we go. Okay, so I would expect to see this. This is every tier 1 neutral registered spell, except for Rust Orb. Why the hell is Rust Orb in there? Do I have it? Do I have something wrong with the registry of Rust Orb? Is everything there? Tier 1. Praise, Temple Touch, Fire Touch. Evocation, tier 2 Rust Orb, right? So it is a tier 2 evocation spell. All right, the tier is indeed 2. Neutral, evocation. And it is researchable. Yay, ads! It's one of the reasons I tend to aim for your armor instead of anything vanilla flavored, the armor penalties. Yeah, I do lessen them. And I still try to give you some decent protection. Yeah, so I'm holding out hope. I'm holding out hope that armor like combat gets better with 1.23, but I'm not holding my breath. Oh, that's double the spells. So let's go back into here. Tier 2. Copy, paste. Tier 3. Okay, right? So this should be better. There we go. That is the list of the tier 1 spells that I would expect to see. I can get rid of this, because I don't need print statements. And let's take a look at the actual registered tier 1 spells, right? So telekinesis, right? That's one of them. Yep. Hydration, befriend animal, telekinesis, temporal touch. So it's showing me water touch, earth touch, and rust orb. Those... Why the frick is rust orb in there? That's so weird. Do I have something double? Rust orb 1. Oh, whoa. Hold on. Okay, no, that's right. So it's right here, right? Evocation School. This is bizarre. It's like it's building the list wrong. And it shouldn't be. Light, neutral, dark, right? So I'm clearing those. Clearing those and clearing those. Get my lists. And then I'm looking at the entire spell dictionary. And then I'm looking at the value, the tier, right? So if it's a tier 1 spell in the dictionary, and then the essence type is neutral, then I'm adding that spell into this sub-spell dictionary for tier 1 neutral spells. So Rust Orb should be hitting this because it is tier 2. And it should be in here. Now let me just make sure. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Tier 3 to tier 3. It's bizarre. Bizarre that it's doing this. And Subspell, right? In Rustbound Magic, Subspell Dictionary, Tier 1 Neutral. Because it's Tier 1 Neutral. General. I don't know. Because tier 1 is clearly 2. I call bullshit. Right? This doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't fucking know. This is fucking bizarre. It's bizarre. Like water touch and earth touch, I can filter those out. Rust Orb 1. Why is Rust Orb 1 in there? Lame. Fuck it. It just doesn't make sense. Oh, it just doesn't make sense. But this is fine. This is fine. Everything's good. It's all good. Let's mark that. Put that there. Continue. There we go. See, so when I filter it, it filters those two. It filters out Rust Orb 1, and then the elemental variants because you cannot find them on the Spellforge. I just don't like the fact that Rust Orb 1 found its way in there. It makes me think it's like registered wrong, or it's double registering the same spell with two different tiers. Rust is a neutral element, isn't it? Yes, it is. But Rust Orb is an evocation magic school spell, and it's tier 2. We are looking at the general spell school for we're looking at tier 1 spells. That's the problem. And make sure my order's not here. There we go. See order details. All right, good. Still in progress. Excellent. Bring me my burger buns. Yeah, it's just weird classifications here, right? So I'm basically in here. I have my main spell list where I register every single spell. And in here, right? Rust Orb is not in the tier 1 spells. Right? It's evocation tier 2. And if I look at Rust Orb 1, this is the only registry for it. Tier equals 2. The school equals evocation. Right? So then I go into here, and I say if this is a tier 1 neutral cipher from the general spell school, then these are the things that I want, right? Like if the school doesn't equal in that sub-spell school list, which is that right there, which is what I built, I'm getting this list and I'm saying, like, if it's not researchable, which got rid of that stuff, and it's not general, you know what I mean? Like, why is Rust Orb in here in a tier 1 when it should be in tier 2? That's what I don't like. Right, so let me try evocation. So technically there are no tier 2 evocation things. Paste. This would be alteration. This would be incantation. This would be conjuration. But see, for tier 1 stuff, there's only one spell school type for now. I'm building this out just in case I end up adding like tier 1 evocations. Well, technically, hold on. Yeah, technically this is all tier 2. Yeah. It's just Rust Orb 1. I probably should make this a method, huh? Like this should be a method because it's mainly the same. I'm just dividing that out. All right, so I'm removing that. So we can do a we'll do a protected void. I'll just call it test for now. And I am going to look for dictionary of string and spell base. Dictionary in I do this wrong. String spell base. What am I missing, guys? What am I missing? I am missing. Yeah, let's look at this. Scroll down. Oh, I had that wrong. I put the extra caret in there. That's what it is, right? So I will take this out, right? This becomes dictionary in. This needs to be static in there. This, however, will need to dynamically change, right? So we'll put in the dictionary and put in the string, and I'll say school in. This would be school in. And this probably should be string. Oh, and I also need... Where is it? This string builder as well. So I can put the string builder in first. Then this can become a void. There we go. Something like this. Instead of test, we'll say... I'll say get spell name available for research. Copy. Now we're going to go up to the top here, and basically we're going to paste that method in, and we will insert this DSC, the dictionary, and the school. Which is general. There we go. This is going to make it a little easier. Right, so all of that becomes this. And we'll put in, whoops. Oh, come on, you son of a bee. There we go, evocation. Alteration. Incantation. Conjuration. There we go. Let's make sure this still works. Yep. Growth and ignite. So that does look correct. See, people, and then this is something they've asked me. They're like, I'm putting in a light cipher, the tier 1 light cipher, and I'm only getting growth or ignite. And I'm like, yeah, because those are the only 2 spells that are available in tier 1, you know, light cipher. Those are the only ones. That's it. Now, I can probably make this another method, right? I could probably make this another method, right? General, evocation, alteration, incantation, conjuring. Because I'm going to be repeating, but I'm just going to be subbing this out. Although... Maybe I don't need to make that a method because I am doing specific checks for this item, right? So I would probably have to push that in and then have this check in there anyways, right? So really this would be a method, like a subdivided method off of this that would just, well, it'd be numerous methods. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to copy, paste, and for this I'll say anywhere it says neutral, make it light. That's all 5 recurrences there. Paste that in. Where it's neutral, make it dark. So that should handle every tier 1 thing. Just like that. And what I can do now is paste this in as such. Change that to, well, change that to 2. And then everywhere in here where you see tier 1, make it tier 2. There's all 15 occurrences there. Paste this in. Highlight it all. And again, anywhere you see tier 1, make it tier 3. So that should be all tiers 1, 2, and 3. And you can get rid of that. There we go. So what is this? This is a tier 2 light evocation cipher. So that's giving me nothing. So I'm wondering if something is going wrong. If something's going wrong in here. So I'm doing the sub list, and then I'm creating the sub list. You know, I could probably... Probably just put that right there. Which means I can get rid of it here. I never put it in asset finalize. Oh, snap, son. No wonder why. Okay, that could be why I'm seeing some weirdness. Let's double check. So it's good there. It's good there. It's good there. Okay, okay. We're gonna save and quit. Quit. I'm gonna rebuild, make sure everything's good. This is something I don't think I can... I probably could restart the game, but I'm just cautious. We're going to shut down. Because I'm refreshing this each time the game reloads and it finalizes the assets. Let me in. Still got something there. Okay, here we go. So, wait, what is this? This is... that. So, growth, ignite, and prize. I feel like those are just the neutral. This is no longer neutral stuff. So it seems like if it's specific to things... Yeah, these are not complete spell lists. I mean, it keeps coming back to my spell list being created wrong. In here. Tell you what. Armor references dot logger. Subspell list plus spell key spell dot key. Give me a printout of everything in here. Reload. Oh, shit, guys! Magic Missile! That's why it's called Rust Orb 1! It's my test Magic Missile spell! So it is parsing it out correctly. Oh, thank God! Oh, past Vice, you lazy bastard. Oh, that is totally it. Oh, thank God. I'm like, this makes no sense. Okay. Let's go to magic missiles. There it is. Rust Orb 1. I don't think I have one for magic missiles. Yeah. So for now, all right, spell names. So I do have one for magic missiles here. There we go. So that should register correctly now and give me the list I actually care about. Great. Awesome. Yes, that is what I would expect to see in that list. That tier 1 list. All right. So let's move on. Let's do tier 2 or tier 1 light. I'm going to reload again. Growth 1, Ignite 1, Fire Touch 1, Lightning Touch 1, Nature Touch 1, and True North. Those are the spells I should be seeing. Technically not, because let's bring out the tier 1. Here we go, tier 1 light. Let's bring out the tier 1 dark. Okay, I'll be out soon. So I'm only seeing growth and ignite. I shouldn't see Fire Touch, Lightning Touch, or Nature Touch, but I should see True North. So why do I not see True North? Tier 1 Light General. Tier 1 Neutral General. Right, so that should be in this list. Let me just take a quick look here. Let's look at growth. Let's look at these two spells side by side. So I don't need stats or range here, right? So it's tier 1 light neutral. True North is True North, growth is growth. Yet this spell is showing up and this spell is not. Although the list does have True North in there. Let's take a look at Lightning Touch, Nature Touch. What if I... Light... Technically it would be Light General. I should see the full list. Okay, so I see the full list. And through my filtering, I would expect to see Fire Touch, Lightning Touch, and Nature Touch not be there. Because of this, because those are not researchable by the Spellforge. Oh. The fuck? What the hell? General Tier 1 spell. True North is a light. It is a light cipher. Right there. Essence type is light. Spell School General. So there's something weird going on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where did they say neutral then? They didn't say neutral. There's a light cipher's in here. So see, the problem is when I put the light cipher in and I try and filter things by researchable, it's saying spells to research, growth, and ignite, and that's it. The full list is growth, ignite, fire touch, lightning touch, nature touch, and true north. All I'm filtering by right now out of that list is to see if it's not researchable by the Spellforge to return. Right? Because this right here would give me, it gives me the full list. So for some reason, True North is saying that, like, it is tagged, it is not researchable by the Spellforge, but it should be. And the reason why it should be is because growth is the spell like it. Like there's nothing here. Base spell, everything in the game starts off with a default tag of true, researchable by Spellforge. So I'm wondering if I just need to, maybe I do need to go through each spell and verify it like this, right? Make sure I statically set that to true so then it's not false. See, and it's still not there. So it's not that. It's not that. I don't know. It's bizarre. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at this a little later because I have to get up and head out. Because if I invert this, right, then it's saying there's nothing, and that's not right because it should be showing me all the researchable by Spellforge spells. All right, so I will need to figure this out. Does it pop up in other lists? Well, it pops up if I get rid of those searches. It's in the main spell dictionary, and it should be a registered variable. I'm wondering if I'm handling something wrong. I could be. There could be something very simple that I'm just not seeing now, because I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. So let's go to Twitch. Who should I raid? We got Perk Cuss, we got It's Just Yogurt, we got Quixote. We could try and throw it to someone new. Let's see, who is playing Vintage Story? Anyone pop up here? You know, we could just throw it over to Quixote. They are playing Eden Crafters. I haven't played Eden Crafters in a while, so I'm not sure how the game looks. So we are going to raid Quixote. My butt is falling asleep. And I'm getting a little hungry. Man, let me tell you, I made mushroom risotto last night. Man, it was baller. It was good. So good. So good. I have to say, guys, I am a pretty good cook. I am a pretty darn good cook if I toot my own horn here. All right, let's raid Quixote. So thank you everyone for watching. I'll probably plug away at this again. I'm gonna take a break, come back. It's probably something silly that I'm doing. Maybe a way to handle a dictionary / list that I could be doing something better. I'm not sure. But either way, yeah, I will figure this out. And then I have other things we're bringing in, like the Essence Nexus. The core's built for that. We just have to go through the linking logic, get it actually in game. A handful of things that people have been suggesting that we're going to be putting in. It's going to be more code configs, or more configurations to change things. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Adios. See you later. Bye.